Okay, thank you very much. Distinguished guests, divine souls, ladies and gentlemen. I might be the last batsman to speak, but I heard your amazing and wonderful speeches. Of course, I know we are running against time. I will be reading my subjective speech to save your time and remain focused on the points, and I will look inwards because I can speak for days together on him. Before I begin, I just like to say that I am truly humbled and honored to be here, and I thank my friend Prashant Kumar, President of the Bar Association, and others for giving me the opportunity to speak and in voicing my tributes to my great mentor. I will definitely not be able to do any justice and fall short immensely while describing the great legend who stood like a mighty Himalayan range, protecting the liberties of a common man, freedom of press, democratic institutions, and independence of judiciary for more than 7 decades. He has been my mentor, my guide, my role model for 38 years, and now my prophet. I must start with an apology to him by saying, "Dearest sir, I am about to do something what you always hated and break your cardinal rule, that is to brag about yourself. I am compelled to do so today as the circumstances demand, and also because as lawyers we love loopholes. That is, you maintain that let others point your good points or good virtues. Dearest sir, today I am the other who has taken this stage, just reliving some of your precious moment of life and sharing some anecdotes which have not been known to the people at large. I take great joy in being the other today, sharing your virtues of mind and heart. Please tolerate my role in these anecdotes to understand his true nature. Mr. Nariman, like life, lived to be most unpredictable, uncontrollable, and often challenging, and had no interest in a pre-packaged idea of anything. He enjoyed giving surprises to everyone. But on the other hand, he had a wider perspective, humility, and acceptance of life. He was very energetic, alert, witty, devoted to his families and friends. He had a great humor and a beautiful smile. He always showed largeness of spirit, tolerance, and ability to see past differences and search for common ground. He always lived in the present moment every day and made right choices. Every moment was a real test of his values. He passed this test again and again and again every day. That is why when he talked of values, virtues, and duties, he did not ring hollow in him. It was not just words for him, but it was the truth which he had lived and for which he was prepared to die. What he thought, what he said, and what he did was exactly the same. He had an extraordinary determination and the power of believing in himself. I recall a building case at Connaught Place, 1989, where the construction of the building was stopped. The matter was fixed for final disposal in court number 3. And that evening, Mr. Nariman had to go abroad. The court divided the time equally between the two councils, NDMC council in the morning and in the afternoon between 2 to 4 to Mr. Nariman. Strangely, around 1 o'clock before lunch, the NDMC council asked for 10 minutes after lunch, and that was agreed. But this 10 minutes stretched to 30 minutes and then 45 minutes and then crossed 3 p.m. when the court and we objected to it. But the NDMC council again asked for 5 minutes and 3 minutes, and each time stretching, and finally stopped at 3:40 p.m. Mr. Nariman had just 20 minutes for his arguments. In his 20 minutes performance, it was a great treat to watch. He was quick, articulative, effective, precise and like a thunder. He argued the whole case, and I was just providing him the ammunition. He believed and proved his excellency and the ability to finish his arguments in that little 20 minutes time without any complaint or losing his peace of mind. He was totally focused and exemplary. The building got constructed. He was a simple man and with extraordinary capabilities. His desires were very limited. Every day was a new day for him with the wider perspective of life, and always spoke for humanity at large. He considered it as a part of a duty to uphold values and principles which were near to his heart. He had an unwavering commitment to the principles of democracy, the constitution, rule of law, separation of power, federalism, and even the civil and criminal laws and procedures. He knew that the ancient, diverse and noisy nation like ours, rules and laws and values and democratic institutions hold us together. They help make our shared life orderly even when we disagree among ourselves. He believed in honest talks and listened to different opinions. He knew that if we change the truth to fit our needs, our democracy will fail. He always supported the cause of free press and independence of judiciary for healthy debates. I am just recalling the NJC matter, which started on 18th of April 2015, and it was a crucial day on 12th of May 2015, where the judges were deciding whether the matter has to go to larger bench. He started his argument by looking back twice, and everyone believed that he is searching for something. And I was just sitting with him. Mr. Nariman then started his argument by saying, "My client, my lords, is the independence of judiciary." This moving act had a great and subtle impact on the court, and the matter was heard by 5 judges and not by 9 judges. He lived by his traditional virtues of liberty and justice, which gave him strength. He was honest and he spared no one. He loved and defended freedom and stood against injustice and abuse of power. Something deep inside him always made him stand up for the little guy on the street. This was his real strength and conviction, which came from his soul. Now I am narrating an incident which took place 20 years ago in court number 2. While waiting for his matter, he saw in the court that the petitioner in person was arguing the matter. The presiding judge got irritated and angry and said to the petitioner that "I won't hear you." But the petitioner still insisted. The presiding judge ordered the petitioner to be dragged out of the court by the security marshals. Despite the fully packed court, it was only Mr. Nariman stood up against this injustice which he felt in his heart. And he told the court, "My lords, you cannot do this. You are here to deliver justice. You cannot deny this right to him. Hear him. You have no right to throw the petitioner out of this court." The presiding judge refused to do so. Mr. Nariman was so upset that he left the court without appearing in his 2 matters before him. And at the noon, he visited the Chief Justice residence to complain about the incident. The Chief Justice later intervened in the matter and the petitioner was heard by some other bench. He said, "It is the lawyer's duty to stand up for others when someone cannot speak for themselves." He was a great speaker and had set a high standard. He had the determination always to do right thing in the right way and to the very best of his ability. This was the greatest hallmark, and that made him special. He possessed the great virtues of morality, brotherhood, tolerance, and respect of our great Indian civilization. He also followed his true religious faith. All these virtues and principles expressed by him is also shared by our great founding fathers in our constitution. A day before his passing away on 20th February, he wrote his last article about the values of the preamble, which is going to be published in the forthcoming book, The Indian Supreme Court at 75. Even at the age of 95, he was very clear in his memory, clear mind, and remained focused until the end. I am reminded of the court proceedings in Ram Setu matter in 2008 before the Chief Justice Court. And one of the justices happened to ask Mr. Nariman, "Do you believe in Lord Ram?" Immediately he stood up and Pat gave the reply, "My junior Mr. Sharma tells me that I was born on a Lord Rama's day." The whole court was in laughter for his presence of mind. I am sure you have heard many of his historical cases, but today I am going to share some memories of his creative capability and depth of knowledge. This was before the Company Law Board, Patel Engineering case, 1999. And due to bad weather, the Bombay flight of the solicitors, advocates and clients were cancelled. Only one brilliant counsel was able to attend along with me that evening conference with Mr. Nariman. Mr. Nariman ripped us off into pieces that day. He said, "You don't have any facts. You have a hopeless case. Now you both sit the whole night and find some case law on this point from company cases, Company Law Journal, Butterworth cases for last 30 years if you want to save your client." We both worked the whole night till morning. We could not find any single case and we were helpless. In the morning conference at 8:30 a.m., he asked for the case laws. We said there is nothing on the point. Immediately he remarked, "You have no facts, you have no law, a useless case, God help you." Then we went to the court. We witnessed the outstanding performance of his. His confidence, his talent was beyond compare. He put all his creativity, innovation, depth of legal knowledge into his stormy performance. Judges were mesmerized. And this was his true self. And we won the case. Now I am coming to the another aspect of his life with me, the Guru-Shish connection, because people have been asking me and the events also at times. In this world of relativity, the Guru-disciple relationship is amongst the highest form of relationship of the soul. But due to the modern and worldly views, it has lost that soul connection and is not revered and honored. However, I would like to give you a brief inside and outside look of this rare relationship, the inside view. It took me few years to unlearn what I had learned in my life. I had to learn to be humble, develop love for learning, giving up desires and letting go the ego before him. He helped me to remain focused. I got aligned to his way of thinking and principles of life. The outer view. On the surface, he and I were from different generation, different background, different culture, and a totally different mindset. I always maintained my cool and calm because I had no choice. But he never, just the opposite. We had differences every day. And he, in his fit of anger, never hesitated to tell me at least once a day that how I goofed up this thing and how I messed it up this thing. I never reacted, but I adopted the Gandhian Satyagraha in replying him. In silence, not reacting to what he said, or sometimes ready to walk away from him in the matter. Now, but for all our differences and all our sparks together, we had a long-standing respect, support, and love for each other. We never doubted each other's perception and wisdom, and we always worked as one team, whatever the stormy weather was. I understood his hurried and aggressive approach towards life, as he wanted to be a perfect man. After Bepsi's death on 9th June 2020, I became his confidant and his companion till the end. I remember an incident at the funeral of Justice H.R. Khanna in February 2008, when former Chief Justice J.S. Verma saw both Mr. Nariman and me standing together. He walked up to us from behind and placed his arm on each of our shoulders and said, "I like this rare association of you, both Guru Shishya culture, and asked both of us to keep it going." We maintained it to the end. It was always a great joy working with him for 38 years. Finally, Mr. Nariman will be remembered for his leadership, which had wider perspective, humility, humor, and acceptance, along with his attitude of forgiveness, gratitude, compassion, and generosity. We learned that leadership is about falling in love with the people that you serve and the people falling in love with you. But for him, his leadership was about serving the people selflessly and putting the common good ahead of his personal interest. We must follow his virtues and principles to become great moral leaders for the future. We will not see the likes of this man again on this earth. I will miss him. Thank you.